Our guest needs no introduction. Welcome to Mr. Werner Herzog. Thank you.
Let's go to work. Alla.
So first question, what is cinema? What does cinema mean to you?
Without cinema, I wouldn't really exist. But also reading. I read more than I see cinema. I see movies probably less than an average audience, which means 5 or 6 films per year.
Wow.
But I do read, and that's my advice to all of you. I know there are young filmmakers here. If you want to become a filmmaker, you have to read. And I mean books, not just TikTok or things, short things, chat rooms or whatever is out there. Read.
I agree. Fitzcarraldo's steamship. If you were to place it somewhere today, on which mountain, for what dream?
Well, I think you do it only once. But I think every grown-up man, it's a very male thing, a masculine thing. A male, every grown-up man should move a ship over his mountain, whether it's a ship or whatever, but you should do it. For women, the tasks probably are different, and I cannot answer that. But I still would move a real ship over a real mountain. I would not do it with digital effects. Okay. Not in my life, I would do that.
What can you not stand about film sets, festivals, awards, masterclasses?
Well, let's face it, there is a very big amount of young filmmakers who want to learn from me. If I announced that I'm searching for a personal or an assistant for my next feature film, if I did it on the internet, I would get thousands and thousands applications. Yeah. So I try to give it a system. I try to channel it. And there are separate ways. Number one, in writing. I've written books like, or published books like A Guide for the Perplexed, which is over 500 pages. Conversations with Paul Cronin about pretty much every single film and what were the obstacles, what were the problems, what do we have to look out for. At the same time, I have written, for example, a prose book, Conquest of the Useless, which is much more, it's more the fever dreams in the jungle. If you really want to solidly learn something, please go on the internet and search. There's a company called Masterclass. You can learn playing tennis with Serena Williams, or you can learn how to act in a movie with Dustin Hoffman, I think. So go for it, because they are very, very well and intelligently done. But they cost, unfortunately, they cost money. You have to sign up for it. But my masterclass is 5.5 hours. It is very condensed, very densely packed. So densely packed that you could never see it in one go. Yeah. It's just too much, your head would spin. So watch it in portions, and these 5.5 hours probably would show you more and give you more insight than 3 years in film school.
What do you teach?
And I announced in my Rogue Film School, my own film school, which is an antithesis to film schools worldwide, which are very disappointing. People are spending way too much time in film school instead of going out and making films. So, and I teach practical things, how to forge a shooting permit in a country with a military dictatorship, how to pick locks, so practical things, all the rest. And you should, yes, if you make films, you have to be borderline criminal energy. If you do not have that, just don't start to make films. But you must never be caught. That's the key to it. And then recently, very sporadically, because I'm working a lot, I've done 2 films now and 2 new books, all being published now in this year. Within days and weeks, I will have much more than only The Ghost Elephants. So in Italian translation by Ed Feltrinelli, there will be my new book, The Future of Truth.
Il futuro della libertà.
Yeah.
Il futuro della verità, scusate.
And Feltrinelli also published my memoirs, my Every Man for Himself and God Against All. And it gives quite
Ognuno per sé, Dio contro tutti.
And so that's material where you can learn, and sporadically I do it far out places, workshops. I prefer now workshops where 50 young filmmakers from all over the world. Last time we had 28 countries, and they came from all over the world, and within 9 days, they have to make a short film, everyone. And I supervise, I talk with them about their ideas, their screenplays. You are not allowed to come with a prefabricated story. You are here, this is an area which you have never seen before, a Canary island like Lanzarote, like Puerto Maldonado in the Peruvian jungle, like in the countryside of Cuba. And it's a new, new terrain for you. You have to invent a story, either for a documentary or for a poem or for a feature film. I show you around the best locations. I have a database of local people who are willing to act in your films. So you have to start immediately, instantly, like the profession demands. You have no 2.5 years time to shoot 600 hours of film. But it's, of course, short films between 5 and 10 minutes. That's the limit. But you have to do it instantly. And I look around when they are shooting. I take them to locations. I'm looking over their shoulders, every one who is editing on their laptops. You have to bring your own little camera and your laptop for editing. And they all have to deliver. And it's relentless. It's relentless. But they learn more in these 10 days than in 4 years of film school. And it's not my invention. You listen to testimonies from them. It's what you hear everywhere. And but I can invite only a small number, so pre-select them. Look at material that they send in. Invite the most promising, those who have courage, those who have a vision, those who want to explore new structures in film. Those are out for new horizons of images. Those who are out for a new grammar of filmmaking. They are my people. Come, and I will squeeze you hard until you end up with a film in 10 days maximum. Some of them made 2 films. One of them, a crazy Colombian, even made 3 films and acted in 2 other films. I mean, a madman and wonderful, yeah. So, and they are good, they are doing good. They make feature films, they gang up. I like you, gang up with people of your own generation. In Hollywood, you see it very often, young filmmakers, they go and they say, I have to find somebody who is an executive producer who was Oscar nominated once. But they're 65 years old and they're worn out and they have nothing to say anymore. Find your people among your peers, those who are your age, those who have a flame within. That's what you have to do.
Thank you so much.
So I would like, as we have very short time, I would like those who are courageous and have questions, line up at the 2 microphones.
Please.
You don't have to reach a microphone into the crowd. Whoever wants to ask a question, come to the microphone.
Please.
Some first one should be daring and others will follow. Please step out and others please step to the other microphone. Line up and we do not lose time with microphones. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. I'm 23 years old.
Yes.
I've always been interested in your films, as many of my friends and colleagues. I have just a short question, because I really liked Ghost Elephants, and it's about a specific subject that clearly interests you, elephants. So my question is the following: How do you spend a normal day or your normal days? Is there a specific thing or specific things like nature, plants, chairs, forks that interest you? Because clearly there are things that we see as a banality, and from them you make something that is really important and connected to cinema.
I understand,
and that's my question.
There's no normal days in my life, because every single film is a different challenge. How do you move a ship over a mountain? How do you hypnotize a whole cast of your actors and make a film with them? How do you go out to Antarctica and do a film? So every day of work is new and unprecedented for me. So you have to be prepared for that. A regular day, yes, there are days when I'm at home. I have a tiny, very beautiful place, and I live there with my wife. We lived together for 30 years, almost 30 years. And I like to cook sometimes. I like to swim. I like to read. We do have 2 little cats now. I love these cats. When I'm in pain, one of the cats senses it and settles down on my chest and looks at me and purrs for hours. And this is a wonderful thing, that you have a cat that seems to understand you. Of course, we don't know what they are thinking and what's going on inside of them, but it's good to connect with animals. It's good to have children in the neighborhood. We lived, for example, in San Francisco for a few years, and there was it was on a hill near downtown. There was a huge apartment block, 400 apartments, all of them either pensioners or rich young yuppies or rich young couples. And for a year and a half, I wondered, where are the children? Finally, I walked into the building and asked, there were 2 doormen, and I asked, I have not seen any children here. Are there any children in this building? 400 parties live here. And the doorman said to me, sir, you know what? There's not a single, not one child. And we knew we had to move away from there. Move to where there are children. Move to where the stories are. From where are you? Are you from here, Italy?
From Eastern Europe, Bulgaria.
Yes, move to where the real stories are. I don't know where they are in Bulgaria, but maybe you will know about your country, or go to some other country for a while and go where the real wild stories are. In Brazil, in God knows where, in India, you just name it. That's where you belong as a filmmaker, to feel the stories emerging around you. So you go for it. That's what gives you insight. That's what gives you narrative structures. That's what sharpens your senses. And try also to travel on foot, because the world reveals itself to those who travel on foot. Best of luck to you. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Joshua, and well, I have way too many questions. I don't know how many I can ask, maybe only one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one personal and one theoretical one.
Okay.
I don't know, choose which one.
Go ahead, go
Okay,
the personal first.
Well, you always have a lot of water in your cinema, and I'm really passionate of water in cinema. But it seems to me that you often shy away about talking in interviews. And
water? You mean water, like
yeah,
underwater
water.
elephants?
No,
or things?
all sorts of water. I mean, many of your movies start near a lake. For example, Wozzeck, it starts and ends near a lake. Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems something that permeates all of your cinema, but I never heard of you talking about
But
water.
I have never noticed myself. You are the first one who alerts me to this. I will look out for what is going on in my own movies.
I can recall maybe only one film where water is not important, probably in your career.
Yeah, I have to look into it. But I have a suspicion that you are right. Okay. So, and now the professional question.
Yeah, so I study conservation and restoration of films. And when I saw Jacques Mandir, it starts off talking about the fact that you have more than 20 hours of film shot for Jacques Mandir. And so that started, I started wondering, where does your rushes end up? Do you still have those 20 hours of Jacques Mandir?
No, I throw it away because it costs, when it's celluloid, it costs storage.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't have the money for it, so I throw
for all the movies.
all thrown away what's not in the film. But you are at a more important question, and that is how much footage do you shoot? I try to tell you, if some young filmmaker comes and says, I shot 650 hours of footage, my heart immediately sinks. He, she, or it does not know what they are doing. They have no clue. You have to know what you are doing. You have to, for example, in my last feature film, which I just finished shooting and editing, Bucking Bastard, I shot very few takes. I shot hardly any coverage. I didn't even know what coverage meant until recently. I shoot what I see I need for the screen. And because of that, I shoot very little material. I was accustomed to shoot very little because I come from the era of celluloid. 35 millimeter celluloid is very expensive. Every single second costs you $5 of raw stock, laboratory, prints, and on and on. So I still have it in me. Be careful with your time. Be careful with your footage. And the craziest of all examples is I did a feature film recently, which is called Family Romance LLC in Japan, in a language that I do not speak, in Japanese language. And I was basically a one-man team. I mean, my wife came in one of the 2 weeks of shooting, and my son came and he helped me with the sound, but I was my own cinematographer. I paid for everything out of my own pocket. My transportation department was the subway in Tokyo. My costume department, I asked all my actors, please send me photos of 10 of your favorite dresses. And I said, please tomorrow come with dress number 2. And they would come, and at lunch break, the young 11-year-old girl who was there with her mother, they would go to the ladies' room and she would dress into the outfit for the afternoon shoot. That was my costume department. And the film was made for literally no money. no money at all. And since I was shooting without permits in highly sensitive areas, the high-speed train, the bullet train, which is a high security area, you never get permission. So I rehearsed the scene with my actors at some other platform. Then I walked down and I waited with my little camera, which was just held on my side, smaller than this here, half the size of this. And we waited until the high-speed train comes in. I switched on. We have a scene which we could shoot only once. Only once, a very difficult scene. 60 seconds, this train is stopped and then it goes out. After 30 seconds, the first security men come rushing in at me, but they didn't tackle me, they didn't touch me. Only when I put my camera down, you know there's the trick, never make eye contact. And you have to walk, and you have to, I come to you to show you, you have to walk boldly. You have to be bold. This is all security, this is all police. And they're standing and they want to arrest you. And there's a law. If you are police, and if you are alone, you would arrest me. But if you are 6 or 7 of you, everyone would wait for the next to do the arrest. So make no eye contact, look at someone in an ideal distance, and walk out and say, in Bavarian, I say it in Bavarian, hast du ein hartig sing, and speak out and start talking like this. And I'm out. So, but I mention this because this is what you do not learn in film school. So, and forging documents you don't learn in film school. Okay, please, the young lady.
Hello, my name is Elena. Firstly, thank you very much for being here. And my question is, do you see cinema as more of a way just to tell stories, or do you always want to convey a certain message? And
well, for message, I would be a messenger. I'm not. I'm a storyteller, but I try to find something deeper, something transcendent in my stories, something I sense as some poetry in it. Ghost Elephants, which just was shown next door. It doesn't show elephants, but it shows the dream of elephants, elephants underwater, and they're so incredibly strange and beautiful. You will never forget it. And you have to see these images, you have to go for it, and you have to be courageous enough to have 3.5 hours non-stop, almost uncut footage of these elephants underwater. So, and that's what audiences remember forever. They may not remember much of the film, but the elephants underwater, go for these things. You have to search for it. And you should never be disappointed if you do not find this. You will get the quest for it, gives a certain caliber to your film. So very good luck to you.
thank you.
Madam?
Hello, Mrs. Herzog. I've been living in Germany for 27 years. I'm a journalist. Since I came to Germany, your name was always in my mind. And I will always admire your patience, your serenity, approaching the reality in your films. But my question is, you said yesterday in the opening ceremony, when you were young, 50 years ago, you were at Coppola's home, and you were working about or thinking a project about the Aztecs, the conqueror of Mexico, and you never realized, maybe for the young, what happened when a project you have in your mind, you're planning, but nothing happens. And is it possible maybe that you retake that project for Mexico?
I can explain.
Yeah,
when Coppola invited me to stay at his house, I was writing Fitzcarraldo, the screenplay, and I had no money for a hotel. He said, "Oh, you have my house, you do the writing. But years later, I wrote a screenplay about the conquest of Mexico, seen from the perspective of the Aztecs. And Francis was fascinated by the screenplay, but it was a very, very expensive project. Pyramids, temples, 10,000 Aztec warriors, Spaniards, battles, you just name it. So, and it turned out it couldn't be financed, which is okay. And I said I do not spend any sleepless nights over it. It's fine that some of my projects, very few, I cannot realize. Fine. And instead of waiting 20 years and pushing my project and approaching financiers and trying to persuade the industry, which is not responsive to someone who hasn't had a gigantic financial success before. Unresponsive, so forget about it. Move on, and instead of begging for money for 20 years, I made 28 films and wrote 7 books and staged 5 operas and acted in 5 other films. So.
Yeah. No chance for a film now in this period of your life?
No, only if my next film makes $350 million box office in the United States, I will have the studios lining up, oh, do we have something big that we can do with you? It hasn't happened, and it doesn't look like it will happen in my lifetime. So what?
Okay. Thank you.
Please.
Well, hello, Werner. First of all, it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be able to talk to you. And my question is, I am a student at a university that is not a film university. However, we have a film...
Much better.
One more time?
Much better. If you study deciphering cuneiform Assyrian texts, fine. If you study mathematics,
I study economics, personally.
That's fine, yes, but go out where the real things are happening. Go to Bangladesh and look how they are struggling to create an economy. Go out where the real things are happening. Wall Street is not for you. You go out to Uganda and find out how rural communities with the use of cell phones are doing small money transactions now all of a sudden. That's what you should do. And it makes you more a filmmaker than going to film school.
Yes. Can I continue?
Please, yeah.
Okay, so this year we have shot our film association, our first short film. And what advice do you have to young people who want to endeavor into the film industry and do not necessarily are well connected? What is your advice when it comes to logistics, promoting the film, etc.?
Yeah, I understand. Sorry for going
wild
before you could
that was
even
very
ask.
interesting.
Yeah, well, today you have to don't wait for the film industry or television or anyone to finance you and support you. You have to take your fate in your own hands. Earn money. I earned my first money working as a welder in a steel factory, but I did the night shift all night long. During day I was in school, it was still in high school. 2.5 years I worked and I earned the money. And I made my first short films in 35mm celluloid. But today you can make a full-length documentary like Ghost Elephants, that length, professionally made for under 10,000 euros. And you can make a feature film with actors, fully in quality for cinemas. You can make it for under $50,000. I have done, a few years ago only, Family Romance LLC with literally no money, only a few flights to Japan, and I filmed it myself, and I filmed 320 minutes grand total footage. That was all I had, and I made a feature film out of it. You can do that. And you accumulate, and you send your dog out, and it will find prey, it will bite somehow, and make more films, the next one, and invite your actors. If you cannot pay them, you will be part of, if the film ever gets sold, you will have a percentage in it. You see, that's how you have to operate. And the system will, if you have some real strong stuff out there and the real vision, they will find you. It's the same thing like with young football players, soccer players. When you're somewhere in Nigeria, in a village, and you're barefoot, and it is a 12-year-old, you're playing football, they will, if you're really, really good, they find you, and you end up at Chelsea. Well, we have seen that. We have seen it and watched what's going on with young football players. You have to be, you see, there's no independence. Independent cinema is a myth. It does not exist. You are dependent on money, you are dependent on production systems, you are dependent on distributions, you are dependent on permits, you are dependent on whatever. But there's such a thing as self-reliance. Make some money somehow. Going short to robbing a bank. Don't rob the bank because it's counterproductive. They normally catch you and you will end up in jail. Do something productive, but where real life is. Work in a slaughterhouse. Work as a bouncer in a sex club. Throw out the unruly ones from the sex club. Work in a lunatic asylum. That makes you a filmmaker. And then earn some money with doing that. And you make your first film. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, please.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. My name is Matthew. I'm a writer and linguist from South Africa. Just on a personal note, I just want to say thank you so much. I saw Ghost Elephants yesterday. Just the act of allowing the Sand people to speak their language on film, that's such an important thing because the languages are obviously dying out.
Untranslated sometimes.
Yes, exactly. As I said, I'm from South Africa. For 12, 15 years, I've been trying to make my own films. A lot of the times I'm trying to do it by myself, but unfortunately the film industry in South Africa is almost non-existent. How do you find creativity in a country that doesn't value art in such a way?
Everyone has to deal with the same problem, including me. Saying something about languages, you see, we are always into the panda bears and in some rare butterflies and the whales, and people are not looking about the extinction of languages, of extinction of cultures, which is more alarming and faster happening than anything in extinctions that we can witness around us. So you are at a very deep subject. It's an existentially important subject. You can do a film out with Khoisan Bushmen for no money. You need a tent where you sleep, and you need a few things, and you need a tape recorder, and you need a camera, a small camera, and you can make a film. If your country is not really responsive, make something really good, strong, unusual, step out of your country, and all of a sudden your country will come back at you. And it was the same thing with me, for example, Carriera, the Wrath of God. Nobody in my country wanted to see the film. It was, what the hell is this? It got the really bad reviews. Nobody wanted to see the film. Only when the film years later was shown in France and was extremely successful, the Germans asked, why don't you show the film to us? And they said, cretinos, cretins. We had the film, but less for a weekend, and nobody came. So they will come. If you have something real strong to offer, they will come. But you have to have some sort of a solid foot also in survival, in regular survival. You have to pay the rent, and you have to pay for your food. So that's basically what you need.
Okay, Thank you.
And good luck to you with your project.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Please, yeah.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. My name is Anastasia. I am from Berlin. I have two
From
questions.
where?
Berlin.
What?
Germany.
Germany.
Berlin. And my first question is, what are the key components of successful storytelling for you? While working on a script or creating a movie, what principles are you guided by? And my second question is about the filmmaking scene in Germany, if you have any particular advice for young filmmakers in Germany.
Okay, what makes a story really big and interesting and fascinating? There's no rule, there's nothing that it doesn't exist, otherwise the professional film industry would be successful, but their formulaic recipe doesn't function. It hardly ever functions. So, but as a filmmaker, and basically you have to be a storyteller, you have to know instantly, this is big, I have to do this. I stumbled into Grizzly Man, into the story of Grizzly Man, and I immediately knew this was so big, drop everything and jump into it. So you have to know that, otherwise you're not a real filmmaker, and you can test your abilities of storytelling. Go to the kindergarten and tell stories to 4-year-olds who have an attention span of 20 seconds and who are completely motoric and tearing each other's hair and screaming. Tell them a story, a full story, but with such intensity and such beauty that they all listen. Then you are a storyteller. And about Germany, I live in the United States, so I know very little what is going on in Germany, but sometimes I have given up hope, and all of a sudden a very significant film comes from our country, because I'm German, and I still carry a German passport, and I will stay German or Bavarian as always. So,
okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Herzog. This was very motivating to hear. It was what I needed to hear. This Rogue Film School, is it still a thing?
It exists, but I haven't done it for years. And it was normally a group of young filmmakers from all over the world again, but it was not making a film, it was a discussion about films. I would show, for example, how do you introduce your leading character best? What is the best example that I know? How do you edit? How do you deal with attorneys? How do you deal with distributors? How do you deal with E&O insurance companies? So, because they are the enemy today. But I must say, I do prefer to do workshops where it's practical, relentless work for 9 days or 10 days.
And you still do that, these workshops?
Well, yes, there will be a workshop in the Azore Islands, Portuguese islands in the middle of the Atlantic. I've never been there. It's new terrain for me as well. I will be surprised. I think the call for that will go out very soon. We do not have a date for it yet. There is a good possibility that it's going to happen in January. But you see, many people are applying. You have to show me 5 minutes of something you have filmed. If you have a 5 hours film, I would only allow you show us an excerpt of only 5 minutes. If you send me 30 minutes, you do not understand the rules. I cannot watch 16,000 films or 16,000 excerpts that are over 30 minutes or over 2 hours. So you have to be disciplined, and you will be invited.
But how to send it? Like
it's on. You just look out at the internet. There's a company called La Selva, the jungle, La Selva, and you will find out what they are planning.
Vielen Dank.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Danny, I'm from Spain. I wanted to ask you about the movie Even Dwarf Started Small, and how do you feel about improvising, directing, or acting, improvising acting? Because like, I really found interesting in that movie like the freedom and control. So like, how was the actor's direction for, in this case, like a fiction movie?
Well, it's a very controversial film, one of my earliest, but I made the film because I always believed I would die before I was 18. When I passed 18, I was sure I would not see my 25th year of life. And I decided, having such short time, I do something which is a nightmare inside of me, no matter whether it will be popular or not. The entire cast is midgets, Lilliputana. And I made the film, some of it was very well organized what we were doing. However, there were improvised things. There's a car without a driver going in circles. No chauffeur in it, goes in circles. And the rebellious midgets are having all the plates and cups, and they throw it at the car and they destroy all the porcelain. And I gave the smallest of them, who was only 89 centimeters tall. He was as tall as this. And I had a pile of plates for him, 12 plates he could barely hold, and I say, within the next 30 seconds, destroy them all. And I say, go for it. And he enjoyed it and tossed them at the car that was passing by. So you cannot organize everything. You have to have a general idea. Destroy these plates in 30 seconds. Do it. Camera rolling now. So, but otherwise, films of mine look almost improvised, and they're very, very well directed, but in such a way that you don't even realize. It looks so natural. It's a craft you have to learn. I cannot teach, nobody can teach you that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Werner. Very nice to meet you. My name is Hussein. I come from Amsterdam. So I have a question. Why do you hate chickens so much? And what is the biggest challenge that you faced in your life?
Chicken, no, I don't really, I have stopped hating them. They are so phenomenally stupid when you look at their eyes, but now I learned recently that they're very good survivalists. They're kind of smart, how they hide under a hedge against the hawks. I'm changing my opinion about chicken. I like to roast them. And there's a wonderful scene in my newest film, which is not finished yet, Bucking Faster. There are two Hell's Angel type bikers in a gas station, and they have leather jackets, and on their back they have a logo, Killarney Chicken Chokers. And you see a cartoon of a chicken that is frantically screaming at a fist, squeezing their neck, the chicken chokers. And my two protagonists, two sisters, they ask chicken chokers, do you really choke chicken? And one has a glass eye, and he answers, a real formidable wild guy. He says, when he's asked, are you really choking chicken? And he says, yes, we do. Question, after you have choked them, do you eat them? Answer, no, we only choke them. End of story. So chicken still move me to have them in my movies. But I like to have animals in my movies, and extraordinary animals in my newest film now. You will see, I mean, not ghost elephants, but I'm speaking of Bucking Fastard, which I haven't completed yet. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. My name is Joan. I wanted to know what is the relationship that a filmmaker should have to fear, and should one be courageous enough to overcome its fear, or is it better to just not be afraid?
There's no general answer. I think what is always good if you are doing physical things, something of physical contact, boxing, for example, or kickboxing, or playing football, I mean rugby, real clashing sort of things, or go onto a ramp and do ski jumping, ski flying, because you have to overcome mortal fear all of a sudden to leave the ramp, and you are out and you are flying, and you can fly into your death. It can happen, and it has happened. So I think people who are physically courageous normally are mentally courageous as well. So what is always good, do something, a courageous form of contact sport. It would be very helpful. In my case, fear does not exist in my dictionary anymore, but you have to overcome it and you have to deal with it. And as a filmmaker, it's a natural quality that is required of you. You have to be courageous. You have to be courageous, and not only physically. You have to be courageous to start a style of filmmaking that nobody has ever seen before, and you will be ridiculed. Let them laugh about it. You make the next one, and it's even better, and they will come on their knees at the third film. So it may happen, it may not happen, but you have to have some qualities of soldiers: courage, a sense of duty, perseverance. It's not only courage. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hello, Werner. I'm Alessandro. And I was wondering, while watching your documentaries, what's the subject that you never treated but you always wish to do a documentary about?
I think I've done them all as they come with great vehemence, and I deal with them as they are coming at me. I can't even recall that I didn't do any of those. And they're easier to produce because they cost less money, and you can do them faster. In most cases, you can do them faster. No, I don't have any. Give me $100 million and say, make a documentary. I wouldn't know which one to do right now. But I would know what feature film I would do. Okay.
Thank you.
Please.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. Thank you for being here. My name is Tina and I'm from Algeria. You're telling us in the beginning about the importance of reading. And I saw in one of your interviews a few years ago that one of your favorite books was The Peregrine by G.A. Baker. And I wanted to know, except from G.A. Baker, who is your favorite writer? And if you had any must-read recommendations?
Yeah. You are referring to a book which was written in the 1960s by a completely unknown British writer, J.A. Baker. It's called The Peregrine. And he observed peregrine falcons at a time where there were only 14 healthy breeding pairs left in the United Kingdom. And he observes this small segment of the world, peregrine falcons, with such an empathy, with such incredible intensity and love that he almost morphs into becoming a falcon himself. And it's a number one, it is what you have to have as a filmmaker, this incredible fascination about a story, about people, about a subject. You have to get into J.A. Baker to understand what it could be at its best. Secondly, I think he wrote prose of a caliber that we have not seen since Joseph Conrad. It's so beautiful. But I wouldn't say he's my favorite writer. I have hundreds of favorite writers. But for those who want to make films, I recommend read this book and read Virgil Georgics, for example, and read, there are many others. Read poetry. When I start writing a screenplay, for the first days, 2 days, a day before I start writing, I read poetry, but from around the world, from China, 9th century, Persian poetry, Hafiz, for example. I read Icelandic Edda chants and songs. And I sit down and all of a sudden it's in me. And I start writing. So, but J.A. Baker is one of the books you have to read if you want to become a filmmaker.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. 10 years ago, I first saw the first film I saw from you was Fata Morgana, and absolutely changed my life with, of course, the music, which was, after that, I just kept listening to Leonard Cohen, songs of Leonard Cohen, always thinking about all the amazing views you did in that documentary. And after that, I got very engaged into your movies, and I really want to know the music you like. How do you decide the music for the documentaries? For example, Ana Gabriel for me was, I'm from Mexico, so listening to Marie's Craft, Ana Gabriel was a shock for me and beautiful. And I don't know, I want to know about the music.
There's no rule, but you have to engage yourself a lot with music if you want to make films. And a wonderful example is Ghost Elephants. Did you see it?
Yes,
there's incredible music, and a great ingenious composer and cello player, Ernst Reisiger, a Dutch musician and composer. And we combined him with a cello, with a group of folk singers from Sardinia, from the island of Sardinia. And they sing very almost prehistoric kind of voices. And I knew for this film I needed that. And Ernst went to Sardinia and recorded with them. And very often I'm in the recording studio with the musicians. I was, for example, for Grizzly Man, with a great American musician, Richard Thompson. And I was with them in the studio, never in the control room. And they started to play the first opening of the film. It didn't have to be precise in length, but it had to be right in character. And after 20 seconds, I stopped him, and I mean, he's a big, big star in America. I stopped him, and I said to him, Richard, 2 things. You are playing the guitar, but there's something that I see is not right. Can you take your shoes off? Can you do it barefoot? And he said, okay, yes, I took the shoes off. Secondly, I said, now the music does not sneak slowly into the film. You have to set your foot down in the first second. You set your foot barefoot, set it down. This is a law of the land. This is Alaska. This is the world of grizzlies. Put your foot down. And he said, I got you. And he puts his foot down, and it's beautiful. But it's only because I'm with them directly in physical contact. Ernst Reisiger automatically takes his shoes off when I'm around. So he knows what I need.
Thank you.
Thank you. But once more about ghost elephants. Please, if you're filmmakers and if you're interested in narration, because it's very much, some of it is almost like a musical requiem. It's almost like a musical. Sometimes the music takes over more importantly than the characters, more importantly than the story. And it's incredible moments, and that makes the force of the film. So don't underrate the power of music in movies. Please.
Hello, Mr. Herzog. It's an honor for me to be able to talk to you. Recently, I've been reading your books, which some of them are actually your diaries from your trips. And I was wondering, what is your process of writing this diary? Are you doing it in the action while it's happening, or is it a recollection of what has been happening the day before?
Now I write while, for example, of walking in ice. When I traveled from Munich to Paris in winter, there was snowstorms and rain and storm against me, and I walked to Paris because my mentor, Lotte Eisner, was dying, and I wouldn't allow her to die, and I came on foot. And sometimes even walking, I would scribble, or I would sit down in an abandoned bus stop where I was protected against the snow and quickly write what was going through my mind and the words that emerged out of this walk. Conquest of the Useless were diaries I wrote during Fitzcarraldo, but it's not description. Don't take it as a book about a film. It is pure prose and poetry. It should be called Fever Dreams in the Jungle. And the publishing houses normally sell it as an account of the making of Fitzcarraldo. It's completely and utterly wrong. Don't trust these labels. You have to read the book as pure prose, as literature, as fever dreams in the jungle. And I do believe that, for example, my written texts and my poetry will have a longer life than my films. We keep talking about my films here, but I'm a writer. I'm a writer as well, equally like I'm a filmmaker. So, but it's good when you are a filmmaker, you have to go into writing and storytelling. No matter what you are doing, sometimes you collect only half a sentence only that you heard somewhere, a word that fascinates you. All of a sudden, these things fall in place, and they will be part of a story. They all find their place. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Herzog, sir, we've been watching your films in a small town in India. My name is Manisha. I come from India. And yesterday was the first time I saw your film on a big screen, and your presence in the film is still, I'm still electrified. I want to ask you one small question followed by a longer one. Is it true that 5th September is your birthday?
What was it?
Is it Wikipedia says that 5th September is your birthday? Is 5th September your birthday?
Yes, it is. In a few days, I will.
So can we wish you a very,
no,
very, very
no,
happy
don't
birthday.
do it. You cannot. No, it brings bad luck. But as you are from India, I'm planning something big in India. I want to bring an exhibition of plasma screens with the most beautiful things from my films.
Oh, wow.
As a retrospective of films, my literature, do poetry reading in India.
Beautiful.
And I will do it hopefully next year.
Oh my
Keep
God.
your eyes open.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you best of luck, but my day here, I'm only here for 36 hours. Tomorrow at 5 in the morning, I have to fly to Telluride for the American premiere of Ghost Elephants. I will fly 20 hours 4 different flights until I reach Colorado, this small town.
One last question.
No questions anymore.
my
we have to. No, I'm sorry. We have to stop this. And thank you
Thank
very
you so much.
And best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.